Aquarius, November is looking pretty good for you. I see a lot of changes. It's like a lot of areas in your life are turning a corner for the better. This month in particular, you're going to want to focus on career, friends, goals, and ambitions. And Spirit wants you to know that if you work in conjunction with Spirit, there's a lot of good stuff coming your way. Want to know more about what this month has in store for you? Keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, Aquarius? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things that you like, if those are the things that you love, if those are the things that you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me over there at Divine Feminine Works. Every day, I've got loads of amazing content on tarot, astrology, manifestation, and spirituality. So again, don't forget to follow me over there. All right, Aquarius, this is going to be your astro forecast and tarot scope for the month of November 2021. You know the deal. As always, we start with the astrology. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the month starts out with Scorpio season, specifically the sun being in the sign of Scorpio. And I find that people either love Scorpio season or hate it. A lot of people associate it with Halloween, with darkness, with all of that kind of stuff. And Scorpio season tends to be a very intense season, arguably the most intense season of the year. And that's because our focus and our consciousness is directed towards death, towards transformation, towards rebirth. This is the time of year where we venerate our ancestors. This is the time of year where we focus on really big changes, making changes in our life, things changing, things ending. And, sometimes people don't really necessarily take to that too well, but be that as it may, that is the essence of Scorpio season. And that's how we start out the month. Thereafter, on November 4th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And of course, as always, new moons are all about new beginnings. It's about a fresh, clean slate. And this particular new moon is going to have us focus on creating intimacy and transformation in our lives. Like I said, Scorpio season, all about transformation. So this new moon, if you are looking to really transform something in your life, if you're looking to put an end to certain things, to bad habits, if you are trying to start something new, regenerate something in your life, this new moon is going to be the new moon where you do it. It's going to be opposite to Uranus in Taurus and square to Saturn in Aquarius. So there's going to be this element of surprise. There's going to be this element of shakeup, but there's also going to be a little bit of resistance, particularly if you're talking about regeneration, rebirthing something. Saturn, the square to Saturn is probably going to make things a little difficult, probably provide some obstacles, but it doesn't mean that your new beginning isn't going to happen. It just means that you're going to have to kind of work at it in order to get things going. But regardless, this new moon is going to be very powerful again in the sign of Scorpio on November 4th. Thereafter, on the next day, we have Mercury transiting into Scorpio on November 5th. And Mercury in Scorpio, just like I said before, how the sun in Scorpio is all about us focusing our consciousness on death, transformation, rebirth. Mercury in Scorpio sort of takes that a little bit further and has our thoughts really geared towards that. Everything about Scorpio is substantive. It's deep. It's truth-seeking. And that's where our thoughts are going to be going while Mercury is in Scorpio. It's also about like psychic abilities. It's all about telepathy. It's all about intuition. And it's also about addressing our emotions, particularly repressed emotions, and sort of making sense of them, trying to figure out what they are, processing them, all of that good stuff. Mercury in Scorpio is also about substantive communication. Scorpio is anything but superficial. Scorpio is very deep. And so with Mercury in Scorpio, how we speak to people, how we relate to other people is going to be more substantive. It won't be so much superficial sort of pleasantries and, all of that, kind of bullshit. It's really going to get deep, and we're going to be able to communicate with people on a much deeper level. All right, so that's Mercury in Scorpio. That same day, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. This is, again, November 5th. And Venus in Capricorn is very serious. Venus in Capricorn is serious love. It's commitment. Some say it has to do with soulmates and things like that. But apart from just relationships, Venus in Capricorn is also about long-term investments. It's about creating a nest egg. Capricorn is very much about status. It's about stability. And when you have Venus in this very sort of rigid sign, love is about providing. Love is about money. Love is about being taken care of in a tangible way. Okay. And, again, love gets serious. It gets practical. It gets down to earth. And Venus will be in Capricorn for about a month or so. So during that time, that would be a great time to start a financial plan, start saving. If you want to add more money to your 401k, Venus in Capricorn really allows you to do that with ease. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that energy while it's in there. All right. Now, the next thing is the full moon lunar eclipse on November 19th. And this is sort of the star of the month. Eclipses are like full moons and new moons on steroids. And this one in particular happens to be a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Okay. So this is like a full moon on steroids. It's like really the final culmination to some of your manifestations, or it's like really shining a spotlight on something that has been hidden for a while. I want you to think back, if you can, to May 2018. That is where this eclipse is sort of coming from. That's where this energy is sort of, that's how this started, right? And it's going to end with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 19th. And it's important to understand sort of how eclipses work. And they work typically on an axis. This particular axis is Taurus and Scorpio. And this particular full moon lunar eclipse kicks off a season of eclipses along the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the next 2 years. So all of the eclipses that we're going to have over the next 2 years are going to be along the Taurus and Scorpio axis. And Taurus and Scorpio really, if I had to sum up what they represent, it's about resources. We've got Taurus on the one end, which is about personal resources. We've got Scorpio on the other end, which is about shared resources. I mean, there are different interpretations of Scorpio and Taurus, but for the most part, it's about resources. It's about tangible things. It's about having tangible things in your hand in Taurus and sort of emotional resources with Scorpio. Superficial stuff with Taurus, deep stuff with Scorpio. And that's sort of where we're going to see this play out over the next 2 years. Now, this is a partial lunar eclipse. It's not going to be a full lunar eclipse. So keep that in mind as well. This is going to, like I said, this is going to bring to light intentions that were set at the new moon in Taurus in May, thereabout 2018. So think back to 2018. What were you working on at that time? Taurus tends to be tangible. So there may have been tangible physical things you may have wanted to manifest then. You may finally see that manifestation come to fruition under this full moon lunar eclipse. And depending where this falls in your sign, this is where, this is the area of life that's going to be seriously illuminated under this eclipse. And so that is sort of how that's going to play out. Again, that's sort of the star event of the month. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's not some catastrophic sort of event. It's just something that's going to be really in your face. Something you may have been working towards for the last 2 years. Something may come to light. That's not necessarily bad. It may be something good that may come to light. But again, that's how that eclipse is going to play out. And again, that is on November 19th. Moving right along, we get to the sun moving into Sagittarius on November 21st, and that marks the beginning of Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season, I love it because it's very larger than life. Sagittarius is bold, it's adventurous, it's huge, it takes up space, and it's unapologetic. And that's sort of how we're going to be feeling once the sun transits into Sagittarius. Sagittarius favors long-term travel, higher education. So once the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, you may want to, go back to school. You may want to take a trip, but your thoughts may be focused on things that are kind of big. Sagittarius is really about like skipping the details and really looking at the big picture of things, particularly when it comes to things like religion, philosophy, law. So it's like, I always feel like during Sagittarius season, we all have these grandiose ideas and we think about things like philosophy and humankind and all of these things. Sagittarius season really stretches your mind. And that's exactly what's going to happen when the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, again on November 21st. And finally, the last thing that we have is Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. So Mercury started off in Scorpio, right? Well, actually it transitioned into Scorpio early in the month, and our thoughts were very deep. They were very substantive. Our communication was very deep and intense with people. Now when we move to Sagittarius, it's more bold. It's more in your face. It's more adventurous. Your thoughts are larger than life. Mercury in Sagittarius also favors foreign languages. So foreign languages may be something that comes to mind, something that you start learning about when Mercury is in Sagittarius, particularly with the sun also being there as well. It just favors different. You want to experience new things. You want to broaden your horizons via your thoughts and your communication. So you may find that when Mercury is in Sagittarius, you communicate with people who are much different than you, people who have a different perspective to add to your life. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very exciting because it's out of the norm. It sort of steps outside of the box and experiences different things that add this richness to your life. Which is a nice transition because Scorpio season, like I said, can be very intense. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's like we're really thinking about our emotions. A lot of us sort of turn inward towards our repressed emotions, really diving deep into our subconscious, into our psyche. And after that, with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, now we're able to have some fun. We're able to broaden our horizons, experience adventures, experience new things. And like I said, add this richness to our lives that some of us really need. It's good to, stick with what you know. But Sagittarius season sort of has you break the mold and experience new, exciting things. So it's a very exciting time. And that's how we end the month. So this month is looking pretty good. There isn't too much turmoil, although Scorpio season in itself, being that it's so intense, things can come up, particularly repressed emotions, like I said before. But other than that, pretty chill month. The full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to seriously bring things to light, depending on where Taurus is in your chart. But other than that, we're looking at a good month nonetheless. All right. So for you in particular, Aquarius, this month you have an emphasis on your 10th house of career and public life and your 11th house of friendship and goals. So the month begins with the sun in Scorpio, which lights up your 10th house of career and public life. So this is all about getting ahead in your career. If you're a business owner, sort of getting to work and, working. Also, like if you are a business owner, your public life and standing in society is also covered under the 10th house. So that may be being seen, getting your social media out there, acquiring fans and followers. All of that stuff sort of falls in the 10th house. And that's what Scorpio season is all about for you. Being that Scorpio is a sign of depth, relating to people in terms of your career is going to be substantive for you. The best way to get fans and followers is to be authentic, to be you, but to reach them on a substantive level. Don't just stick to pleasantries and sort of superficial shit. You're going to want to get deep down and relate to them on that level. And that will get them to be with you for life, or at least for the long run. Okay. So that's sort of how the sun in Scorpio works for you. Once Sagittarius season hits and the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, that's when your focus is going to shift towards friendships, associations, and goals. So a lot of the work that's done in the 10th house during Scorpio season sort of transitions into the 11th house come Sagittarius season. So that's when you're going to be networking. That's when you're going to be forming associations with like-minded people. That's when you find your tribe. When the sun is in your 11th house, that's always when you focus on goals also. Goals, ambitions. The 11th house is sort of known as the house of wishes come true. It's the house where you wish upon a star. So when you're thinking about goals, when you're thinking about the future, you're going to want to think big, bright, and positively. And that's exactly what's going to happen when the sun transitions into Sagittarius on the 21st. So like I said, you have an emphasis on the 10th and 11th houses this month. So you've also got Mercury in Scorpio, which is in your 10th house, and that is happening on November 5th. And with that, that's how you communicate with people in terms of your career and public life. And again, you're doing this in a very substantive way, given that this is all going down in the sign of Scorpio. So this is when you really want to get vocal with authority figures, with bosses, with employees, particularly if you own your own business. Social media with fans and followers. This is when you're going to want to put out your newsletter. You're going to want to be very prolific when it comes to speaking and promoting yourself when it comes to business, career, and social standing. All right. And then we also have Mercury going into Sagittarius come November 24th. And at that time, when it comes to your associations, when it comes to your friendships, you're going to want to cast a wide net, network widely, and network with people who are very different from you. They'll have a lot to add in terms of the overall essence of your friendships. You know, you're going to want to make new friends that are very different from you, that have different viewpoints. Particularly with Mercury and Sagittarius, it's about thinking big. And this again goes to thinking about your career, your goals, your ambitions. So you're going to want to think big, and you're going to want to think out of the box when Mercury transits into Sagittarius on November 24th. Now, we've got the new moon in Scorpio happening on the 4th, which lights up your 10th house of career and public life again. So at that time, new moons are all about setting new intentions. So you're going to want to set intentions related to career. If you want to move ahead, if you want to get a promotion, if you want to get more business, set those intentions at the new moon. Okay. Then we also have Venus going into Capricorn on November 5th, and that is happening in your 12th house. Venus in Capricorn is all about material things. It's all about love being serious. It's about commitment. And in the 12th house, this is really directed inward. Even though Venus is very much a relational planet, the 12th house is a house of solitude. It's the house of self-undoing. It's also the house of karma. So when it comes to relationships and Venus in Capricorn, you may be experiencing karma from relationships in the past, finally making their impact in your life, okay? Other than that, it's going to be really about cultivating your inner relationship with yourself and sort of getting things on track as far as your emotional well-being, your spiritual health. All of that stuff is covered under the 12th house, and that's sort of how Venus in Capricorn is going to play out for you there. All right. And then finally, the star of the month is the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, which is going down on November 19th. And that is lighting up your 4th house of home and domestic affairs. So think back to May 2018 and what was going on there. Perhaps at that time you were planting seeds to own property, buy a new house. Even though that was a while ago, you may now see that come to fruition. So any sort of home projects, any sort of real estate deals may be coming to fruition under this full moon in a big way, because it is, again, a full moon lunar eclipse. For some, a domestic issue, an issue with a family member may come to light under this full moon in a major way. And this also may tie back to the new moon in Taurus, which happened in 2018. So keep that in mind. You know, full moons, like I said, are, full moon lunar eclipses are full moons on steroids, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be a bad thing for you. This could be a really good thing. This could be a new addition to the family, a new addition to your home, a positive living situation changes. All of these things are up for grabs with the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. And again, that's on November 19th. So that's pretty much the month in a nutshell for you. Nothing too crazy. Things are looking pretty good. Again, the focus for you this month is career, friendship, and goals. All right, so now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you this month. All right, Aquarius, so you know the deal. We always start out with an oracle card for an overarching message and then circle back in with the tarot for some more specific stuff. But this month I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to be giving you 3 messages, 1 general, 1 love, and 1 career and money. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start off with the general message. So what general message do we have for Aquarius for November 2021? All right, first card out we have is higher power. Interesting. So this is about sort of deferring to a higher power, whether you believe in God, your higher self, the universe, and that's where your stability lies. So this is giving me very much 10th house vibes. So when it comes to stability, when it comes to your standing in society, when it comes to your career, which directly affects your stability, you should defer to a higher power. This isn't just about letting circumstances be what they are, as if you have no control over them. This is more so about working in tandem with the divine in order to have the stability that you are looking for. Let's get a little more specific here. So what about this higher power does Aquarius need to know about? What more is there to know here? Okay. Oh, nice. I like this. We've got the 10 of Cups. This is complete emotional fulfillment. This is happiness. This is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And it's saying that Spirit is saying is that if you work together with Spirit, if you co-create with Spirit, that emotional fulfillment that you are searching for, that you want, that we all ultimately want, specifically as it relates to your goals in life, your career, your friendships and associations, that's here for you this month. Things are looking very good with respect to that. And you see, although this may come off as like romantic, right? This is also friendship. So those associations that you are making and that you're cultivating this month are going to be really positive, overwhelmingly positive, actually, with this 10 of Cups here. So it's like, you're going to be feeling really good. Like, just plain and simple, you're going to be feeling really good. But again, it's like you work together with Spirit and only you know how to do that, right? You know how you commune with Spirit. You know how you work with God. You know how you manifest with God, with the universe, with whatever you believe in. So do that this month and it'll really work out well for you. Let's get one more card here for this general message. Okay, there we go. Look at this beautiful energy gift. Yeah. So if you work with Spirit this month, that stability, that happiness that you want, it will just be handed to you. So it's almost like there isn't all that much that you have to do. You're sort of deferring to a higher power. Of course, we always co-create with Spirit if we allow Spirit and we allow God into our lives. But by doing that this month, you are going to have some really beautiful energy when it comes to your stability, and stability that is lasting. That's lasting. And I'm also hearing that, Saturn has a lot to do with it, right? Saturn is your ruling planet. Saturn is in your first house. So stability is something that's very important to you this month on a personal level. You guys are undergoing this transformation personally, and stability is part of that transformation. And Spirit is saying, if you just work with me, God is like, if you just work with me right now, everything's going to be really good, like really good. So I don't need you to worry. I don't need you to stress. Work with me and I got you. So that's what the general message is for you. All right. So let's move on to love and see what we have for you. So what can Aquarius expect with respect to love and relationships for November? We've got trapped, okay? And I don't want you to get like nervous or be like, trapped, what does that mean? Relationships are in the bag, like they are locked down. I'm getting like that ball and chain kind of thing, but not in an oppressive way. This is 3 and 7. So this is a new relationship. Some of you are entering into a new relationship. I'm getting for some of you, this is friendships, associations. For others of you, it's a new phase of your relationship that's very committal, that's very committed, that's locked down, that's signed, sealed, and delivered. Again, this is really good energy. All right, let's get some more on love and relationships. All right. We've got the King of Swords. This could be you because Aquarius is an air sign, but this also could be with an air sign, which is Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So this relationship could be with an air sign. It could also be someone that you are talking to right now, or someone who's had their eye on you for a while, okay? This person could be in law. They could be in law enforcement. They could be a debater. They could be in journalism. Anything that has to do with communication or thinking a lot, that could be sort of how this person is, the characteristics of this person. Or this just could be you. Some of you are really committing to yourselves now, because again, your ruling planet Saturn is in your first house. And with that, Saturn is now direct also. So the focus is really on stability for yourself, committing to making yourself better. But again, for some of you, this is an air sign. This could just be a person who's in those fields that I mentioned before, and it's a new relationship or a new phase in relationship that's very committed. Okay. Let's get one more card here for this relationship message for Aquarius for November 2021. All right. We have despair. Okay. Things are changing for you right now. And I don't want you to get alarmed because this is not a bad thing either. I feel like this is the energy that you guys are coming out of. Some of you, when it comes to relationships, you have been feeling like this. Feeling like things are in disarray, feeling like you haven't had the relationship that you want. But with the presence of the 10 of Cups here, the gift card also, you are entering a new phase where a new relationship is coming in that's completely emotionally fulfilling. For some of you, this relationship that you're currently in may turn a corner and things may get better. But regardless, you're coming out of this energy. You're coming out of feeling down and out, feeling desperate, feeling all of these things. This is the energy that's leaving. So things are definitely looking up for relationships. Whether you're single, whether you're dating, or whether you're in a committed relationship, things are going to get better. All right. Now let's get to money and career. What does Aquarius have this month? Ooh, that card just popped out. Okay. We've got the cross. Okay. The cross can signify hardship. It signifies each of us having a cross to bear. So when it comes to relationships, when it comes to career and money, I feel that a lot of you have been like toiling and you've been working really hard, almost oppressively when it comes to your career. Like you've been met with obstacles. For those of you that are familiar with the story of Jesus, Jesus had to walk with that cross on his back while people were yelling at him, spitting at him, treating him so badly. That's kind of how you've been going through career, okay? It's been difficult, but it's coming to an end because this card is a 36, which reduces to a 9. So you are at the very end of this sort of oppressiveness when it comes to career and things like that. So let's get a tarot card and see what else we have here. Okay, that sort of just slipped out. Okay. Oh, we've got Queen of Wands. This is great energy because not only are you coming out of that toil and labor and oppressiveness when it comes to career, you're actually stepping into an energy of creativity where you're sort of a master of creativity. There's many lessons that you've learned in this hardship when it comes to your career. And one of the things that you've learned is how to make things happen. You realize, or you are soon to realize, that you are the creator of your life and you can shape your career whichever way you want. And you're actually doing that this month. So you're coming out of the oppressiveness. I'm getting that for some of you, you are leaving a job situation and you're opening your own business. So you're creating your own stability. For others of you, you are tailoring your career. Even if you work for someone else, you're tailoring your career in a way where you have more control, where you have more power, where you have more creativity, where you have more voice and more say-so in what you do and how you do it. So you guys are coming out of this darkness and into a light when it comes to your career, which is amazing. I love that for you. Oh, finally, this last card to close out the reading. We've got mature woman, okay? So for some of you, a mature woman that you work with or for is going to be highlighted this month. For others of you, this is you. You've matured. That toil and labor, that hardship that you went through with your career has leveled you up in a sense. And now you're seeing your career from a completely different vantage point, from the vantage point of a mature woman, from someone who, maturity speaks of experience. It speaks of wisdom gained through experience. And that's sort of how you're approaching this new level in your career, right? The experiences, the hardships, you've now turned that into lessons and you're now able to create the career that you want. So that's looking good. All right. So to recap, we've got working with God, working with Spirit this month is going to be excellent for you. It's really going to bestow abundance and gifts to you if you'll be receptive to doing so, right? When it comes to relationships, you have a new energy regarding relationships. Some of you are coming out of a feeling of despair, a feeling of being down and out. And now you're going to be entering into a phase where you have very committed and stable relationships, perhaps with an air sign. And then finally, when it comes to career, you've got this newfound energy of creativity. You're now able to control your stability, how you make money, how you do your work, what you do for work. Some of you are hanging out your own shingle and starting your own businesses. Others of you are getting more control and maybe even a promotion when it comes to the current job that you're in. But regardless, things are looking up in terms of career. So enjoy. You've got some really great energy this month, Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, that has been your Astro Forecast and Taroscope for the month of November 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you were able to get at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out. And while you're checking things out in the description box, don't forget to check out my website and sign up for my newsletter. Everything that's in this video is pretty much given out to my newsletter subscribers on a regular basis. So again, link in description box, click on it, sign up, and live your best life. All right. As always, my loves, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, and tips are always greatly appreciated, I'll leave that link in the description box as well. Aquarius, things are looking good this month. You have a lot to look forward to. All right. So keep the faith, work with spirit, and be receptive to all that God has in store for you this month. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you guys next time.